Hello, this is Avery. It is December 10th, 2019. I'm going to go over my trades today on TCCO, NLTX, and OBSV. So to start out with TCCO, obviously it was gapping, and I was staying away from it. I was looking for a break of the 315 low. Didn't get that though. And then, so what I did is when it started squeezing here, I tried there's a 550 resistance on the daily chart. So I shorted at 545 and immediately covered once it perked straight through. It had a little bit of a pullback, or it had a pullback 15 cents of profit from my entry, except before that it spiked all the way to 569, so I'm happy that I took that off. And that was on extremely small size. And then come into the open. Unfortunately, my main idea there was to shorten I didn't want to risk all the way up to high of day, except my plan was to do shorten around 7s, risking the 720. But I didn't end up taking that trade. So then after this big wash, normally I don't trust big red candles just right out of the open because I don't really think they have much significance. But after we kind of rebounded and then failed again, then I was kind of looking for failure, especially after it broke this 550 low. So I took a short at 560, which was at the top of the range, and I had my cover right at low of day. Looking back, it was a foolish thing to do to have it at rate, or it was like, I think 516, and my stop, if you look at right after that big wash, the high there was 569, I believe, or 568. So I had a 574 stop. Just I was adding a couple cents on there just in case it perked through and then fail. And then of course it goes to 518, just spikes back up, stops me out, and then has its wash to 505, which was quite annoying. And then after that, it had a cracked low of day again, and I was really tempted to short the lows here, except I didn't, and I waited for the bounce back. So again, I shorted at 535, and then I cut it right after it broke this. I was using the 5-minute candle as a risk, and my stop, I believe, was at 556, and then luckily I avoided all of this chop. Especially zombie time was right then too, so I was getting concerned about that. And then coming in, I ignored it. I stepped away from my computer all afternoon, and then I came back right around here. And then I really liked this death candle. Fortunately, if I was here, I probably would have been able to get a half decent entry, but hindsight again. So right here, after it failed, it bounced, but I still felt like there was more downside. So I took a 795 short, and I had a stop over 820. The perk highs were 810, or sorry, 814, and then this one was 810. So I just wanted to give a tiny bit. I didn't want to let it rip on me, so I just wanted to have a tight risk. And then here, after we set a higher low, this took a decent amount of patience. And then after we dipped here and set the higher low, then what I did was I put a cover order in. This low right here was 736, so I put a cover order in for 742, a couple cents higher just in case if it would bottom out there. So I get that fill, and my next fill originally was 678, and I ended up moving that down. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so after we had this big wash, I moved my order down. Actually, I was looking at this support right back here in the 650s. So I moved after we started this wash candle and we actually got that crack, and I moved it down, which in hindsight was maybe a foolish thing to do. Because what happened is when we broke the $7 level, we only went to 684, I believe it was. Except, so I was like thinking, oh, like 7 resistance broke. 7 support broke. except that was the wrong way to think about it, because then it reclaimed. I was thinking, since it was still up like 250% over there or something, I was kind of thinking we would at least have like a wash to 650 area and then spike back up maybe before the close, just with everyone covering. But then I end up stopping out still for a nice profit at 735 after we perk up. My original plan was to hold it until 330, and then if it didn't fade more at 330, then I was going to cut it off. But after we set a couple higher lows and perked, like we were kind of like hovering right under VWAP and right above, like I kind of liked this action right until it perked up, like we were like we weren't able to hold above VWAP. But then as soon as we perk up and we perk up and then we break past this high, and then originally it was for my stop was for break even, except then I just cut it right here because I just wanted to take the profit, didn't want to risk it. Overall, that was a great decision because I would have been stopped at break even, and I wouldn't have been stuck for this, except I would have not had any profit on my second half. All in all, it ended up being, I think, a 56.5 cent a share gain, which was really nice compared to my last couple death candle plays, which were, I think, like I just piked the shit out of them. So my last couple death candle plays were only like 20 cents. Like again, like looking back, like I was up $1 a share here, so I definitely should have taken the money. I got in my head of like, oh well, I broke this support here of 703, so my head lower and it's still up a lot on the day, but that's just greed talking. So next time I'll just take a $1 a share gain. Next one, NLTX. This one was like a first resistance short. So yesterday we spiked up and I was looking at these two levels here of about $7 and then 7.17, 7.20, just rounding up. And then what happened was I was originally just going to, I shorted at 6.95 and then I was just going to cut it immediately if it went over this high and then just reattack, rate it, like get right back in at 7.20. And then what happened actually is, so my stop originally was supposed to be 7.05, but I got filled, and then literally within a split second, like probably less than 2 seconds, by the time I hit my range order, and it was already above 7.05, so I had to adjust, and then I just cut it off at 7.13. And then since it was just so strong, I just didn't even bother trying again. Yeah. When it was kind of topping out here, I noticed acceleration and deceleration, except I wasn't able to get a fill fast enough. So, and then when it came, I was still watching it when it came back to retest these sides, but I just really didn't like the way it was acting. It was past zombie time, like right here. That's exactly when it happened. So it was good that I did not try that again. And my last one, OBSV. This one was kind of messed my head up in the morning. So this doesn't show prior to 7 a.m., but there was some action, and we were up in the 420, 430s area. It was a 430 top, came back down, and then it topped out at 424, I believe. So what I was thinking here is we had a good fade, and then we popped back up, and then this chart shows VWAP at the time to be around 388, except on the VWAP, including before 7 a.m., was right about $4. Kind of bit less. I think it was like 397. So my kind of idea was like just a little VWAP scalp projection, and I was a little impatient with this one. Like I shorted and then just covered it like 2 minutes later once it didn't work, or actually it was 1 minute later, and then of course then that's when we got my 15-cent scalp. But whatever. The thing that I'm most annoyed about is that then I had some orders out. It was at like 424 because the previous high was like 425, 426, and then I had another order at 428, risking about 435, and I didn't move my orders down, and I kind of just got, when it came back and then it set higher low and then a lower low and then it came back up, I was kind of thinking, like I just took my eye off of it, which was a mistake because when this high was 415 and then when it perked slightly above to like 416, I was like, oh, like it might, like maybe we'll retest these highs. So I was like, okay, I'll just check back in on this in like a minute, and of course then it just fades. And then again, one of the things that for some reason I just choked on. I don't know why. Like again, one of my nice pre-market setups is when it breaks the lows of 7 a.m. and onward, then I like to sort of bounce near there, and it did that, and then it just, I don't know, I just choked for some reason. And then the thing that kind of messed me up psychologically was I had a 389 short order for decent size as well. And then I was immediate. My plan was to short at 389 and then cover right at like about 336, and then retry again right around these highs. And the mistake that I made here, I think, was I put the fantasy out when it was around 375, and then at the time VWAP was like 393, so I was like, okay, I'll put it 4 cents below that because my thesis was like I'd probably get a VWAP projection, and then like it'll either perk right through VWAP or it'll like come a couple cents short of VWAP. So like we perk up, we fail, and then I almost moved my order down, except then when we perk back up and we get to 388, I was like, oh, there's like no way I'm not going to get filled. I'm sure it's going to perk like a penny or two more, and no, it doesn't. And then definitely would have not held this long. As per my plan lately, I probably would have immediately piked half, probably around 372, and then let the rest run a little bit, but still I probably would have maybe made it to high 350s. Anyway, so those are my trades for today. Thanks.